Hey everyone, it's time for another installment of Not Really Buzzed beer or cider review. And this time we are going to be reviewing from Portland, a very local beer, Ben's Barleywine from Montevilla Brew Works. They're one of my favorite local small craft breweries here in Portland. I've had this on tap before, but this is one of their first bottling attempts they've ever done. I'll do a quick little read here. Brewed to commemorate the life and brewing prowess of our departed friend, Ben Fleischinger. I apologize if I mess up that name. I'm horrible at names. This is a 50-50 blend. It's been aged 10 months in bourbon barrels. This was brewed in 2017. I almost said last year. Brewed in 2017 and then aged 10 months in bourbon barrels. Let's see if we can see it here. Like most bourbon barrel barley wines, a lot of B's. Alliteration day. It's 10% ABV, so this has got to have a little punch to it. So let's crack it open and get to the tasting. A little shout out to Reverend Nat, one of my favorite glasses from one of my favorite cider houses. I know, I'm pouring beer in a cider glass. Dogs and cats living together. All right, let's not pour the whole thing. It's a lot. So you take a look here, it's got the color you would expect from a barrel-aged barley wine. Usually a barley wine can have, it's reflections and reflections. It just keeps going. A lot of barley wines will have almost a more reddish tint to it. The bourbon barrel aging, well, any barrel aging, will darken it a little bit. And this is a good color. Just a little bit of foam, which is what you expect. This isn't a kind of beer where you're going to get like the head up to here and overflowing and whatnot. This has been in the fridge. I think traditionally you would serve this at cellar temperature. So this is a little cooler than normally you would drink it, but I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm going to quit talking about it. I'm going to have a sip. Actually, I'm going to have a smell first. It smells really good. It has the usual notes you would expect from a barley wine. It has it has some of like the barley scents and some of the malts, but it has that typical sweetness you would expect. A slight alcohol scent to it. It's going to burn a little bit, but again, barley wines, this is a 10%, so a little bit to be expected. Not off-putting at all. You kind of want that. And you do get the bourbon right there. You get the bourbon barrel aging in the aroma, so let's give it a sip. Yeah, it's very good. The initial flavor right off the bat. Let me double check. Hold on. So the first thing you get is sweetness, which is something I've come to expect from barley wines. I don't drink a lot of barley wines. I do enjoy them. But they're just a little, it's a sweetness level. I don't like to drink a lot of them. So that makes the barley wine something you have on a more special occasion. And this has a really nice balance. You can tell some of the bittering agents that went in there play off really well with the sweetness. It's not cloyingly sweet, which is something I run into a lot in strong ales. Different type of beer, obviously, than the barley wine. But from my experience, they're kind of related to each other. And one thing I get from a lot of strong ales is just a cloying sweetness that I just can't get down with, which is often blocked by then just hopping the ever-loving crap out of it, which is also not very fun for me. But if that's your jam, that's your jam. Let's try this some more. Yeah, let it play around a little bit. Some of the other flavor notes I get from here, I get some notes of some cinnamon, some clove, a little bit of allspice, just a hint of leather, which sounds really wanky, but there's a good chance that is a holdover from the bourbon barrel aging, which is kind of what you're going for on something like this. It does have that alcohol bite, which you expect from anything. Once you start to get above like 8.5 ABVs, you really start to feel the alcohol bite in there, especially in beers and barley wines and ciders and stuff like that. But look at that. Really beautiful color. Great clarity. This is a really impressive barley wine. And it's even more cool that it's done locally. So if you live in the Portland metro area, I highly suggest you pop on over to Montevilla Brew Works and check it out. They don't have it on tap anymore, but they do have it by the bottle or by the case. So you can purchase either of them. And if you go in there and do pick it up, tell them you heard about it on the Geek in the City Patreon. But all in all, this is a really strong barley wine. I highly recommend it. I still don't have a rating system yet. We need to think of one eventually. So, in fact, if you can think of a homebrew rating system, drop me a line through the Patreon or at geekinthecity@gmail.com. Till then, happy drinking, live long and prosper.